All right, so this is the last time I am trying this. This time I'm doing it from the laptop, so making sure it's working. Okay, so as everybody trickles in, I apologize. For some reason, apparently Black Friday is the day that everybody wants to try and call me. Super annoying, but this time I'm just doing it from the laptop. The only reason I don't do this is the quality is not as good, and the lighting changes, and like it makes I change colors when I do my live streams from my laptop. But we are just going to go with the flow today because I am sick of my phone doing that. I'm sick of people calling me and interrupting the stream right as we're talking about like stuff that everybody wants to talk about. So we should not get interrupted again. I'm going to make sure, yeah, it's plugged in so it's not going to die on us. So I'm even more frustrated because my technology keeps failing me today. I'm trying not take my frustration with that stuff out onto what we're talking about. Not that I think you guys would care, but so, hey guys, I am so sorry that my other two streams keep getting kicked out, but I'm not on my phone anymore, so it's not going to happen again. I'm trying to decide if I should just delete those other live streams. That way it's all in one cohesive one. I probably will do that. So we are just going to start from the beginning. So if you were here for the last two discussions where I started to rant about things, we're just going to start over, kind of talk about things from the beginning and go from there. That way I can just delete those other two streams. Just so it's not confusing for people who maybe aren't available to be here now. So one of the things we talked about was people's concerns for her mental health. And I understand why there are concerns because of some of the stuff she has posted recently. I totally get that. But I think it's calculated. And I will tell you why. I know you're triggered, right? I might leave them up. I can just foresee people being like confused in the replay. We'll see. We'll see what I decide. But just in case it makes more sense to delete them, I am going to kind of go over everything again. So with that being said, hey Rocklist, hey Leanne, hey Megan, hey Jakes, hey Miss Cassandra, hey Mary, hey Rocky Keystone, Jake's Baby Cakes, Sarah, Megan, Star Lily, Lulu Bell. You believe it's calculated as well. Yeah, I watch Rick and Morty as well. I didn't catch the reference. I have a weird sense of humor, if you guys don't know that. It's slightly off topic, but that's okay. So you think it's calculated too, Jersey Jojo? Yeah, to me, there's no way it's not at this point. And I understand people who are maybe new to Katie and stuff like that have the concern, but she has so many professionals in her daily life that, well, I don't necessarily know if it's daily, but she has so much going on. Like due to her child, she does have a lot of like medical professionals involved. And if they see anything concerning based off of her stability, they are going to make sure she's okay. They have, I'm sure the companies that since she states previously, I'm just going out on a limb now that the nurses she still has are from the state. They are bound. Almost every medical professional is a mandatory reporter. They're in the sense that if their patient is a child and their parent is acting in like unstable and kind of cuckoo, so to speak, that's a legitimate child safety concern, especially for a child with the needs of her son, that they would definitely get the appropriate agencies involved. In addition, she has disclosed in the past medication that she's on. Depending on where you are, depends on how regularly you have to go to your therapist or whoever is prescribing you those medications. And if they have a concern, they are not going to prescribe you your medication. They're typically mental health professionals, so they are going to reevaluate if that is necessary. Due to all of these things going on, I do not think that she is. Do I think maybe she is struggling with the hate she's getting? Yeah, I can see that. But do I think it's to the degree or her being able to plead the insanity plea? No, absolutely not. Not in my opinion. I don't see how that could hold up in court. To be quite honest, because her behaviors, although they are all over the place, it is very patterned. I understand people who are like, just because she's reacting to everything. And I get where it can be confusing that she says, I'm not going to react, and then she reacts. I think she is saying those things at the directive of her counsel, her legal counsel, because they're probably telling her, you need to stop, you need to do this, you need to do that. And so she is listening to them and doing that. And then she sees something and she reacts out of impulse, and she gets on and she makes these statements and does these things that everybody's like, what is wrong with you? Like emailing Creepshow Art and Truth Sleuth and Angelica Oles, and I know Little Red even got an email, like emailing them and saying, I'm CCing my YouTube manager. And then in a live or a video she did, a day or two ago, she said in there that she was trying to handle it personally. You did not try to handle it personally. Almost everybody has seen those emails at this point in time. You were trying to intimidate them. And like I said in my other live stream that got cut off, I am super happy that the individuals she is trying to silence and she is trying to bully, because that is what bullying is, she aren't falling for it and aren't caring, because they know that she is way out of line. Because she is, like, that is way out of line. I have never heard of any drama where a creator is like, I'm going to CC my manager to try and get them in trouble. Like, that is such a fifth grade thing to do. I think her maturity level is at the age of a middle schooler. And I'm not necessarily saying that to be mean. I'm saying that honestly, I really think her maturity level, it doesn't mean that you can't function as an adult, but I don't think she has the maturity that she should at her age, because CCing your manager, all of the, really take a step back. I ask you guys to take a step back. Think of all the stuff that she's done that we're like, really, why the hell are you doing these things? These are things that somebody in middle school would do. And the only rational thing I can think of, aside from it being calculated, is she has zero maturity. She is not mature for her age, and that's why she engages with stuff. That's why she can't stop watching everything. I mean, I uploaded a video last night in collaboration with Britt. I hope you guys have seen it. I know it's a long one. I'm sorry. I tried to warn you guys. But even in that video, which was a year ago, literally a year ago from like the 23rd of this month, she acknowledges that she had overreacted to a situation. And the way that she talks about it, she very clearly had offended her viewers and her subscribers. And that is telling to me. A year ago, you were still doing the same shit you're doing now. It's just now you are doing it on a larger scale. Now you have everybody watching you. So you are making sure that it is as dramatized as it could be. I just had an eyeshadow pan fall on my palette. But she is making sure it's as dramatic as it could be. So she continues to almost make it to where creators have to respond. Right? Like, that's the impression I am getting. And I don't blame the creators for continuing to respond. But what Katie doesn't realize, if that is her calculation, if that is the plan that she is using right now, it is going to backfire majorly as time continues, because I can already see, myself included, people getting sick of it. People getting sick of talking about her because it's the same shit in a different way. at this point, I'm not shocked. Like her putting out that Instagram thing about like being concerned for her. She had just done a live stream prior to that, totally fine. And I'm not saying that mental health looks like anything in particular. I know it doesn't, but, and you can never really tell, but you have hundreds of thousands of people, and you want to sit here and continue to tell us that you are an advocate in everything. Why did you not use that? If these were legitimate feelings, why did you not use that as an advocacy staple for you? Because you very, very much so are trying to push that you're an advocate, which I don't think you are. That is my personal opinion. Just because you donate to people, just because you put up a video or two or a post or two about some of your personal struggles, doesn't necessarily make you an advocate in my mind. I understand if people want to disagree. I appreciate, believe it or not, I do appreciate the fact that she has put out some more educational or like experience type videos. However, they're super calculated. The timing that she's putting these out is so obvious. And it's like she really doesn't think that her viewers and the people who are watching her are not able to notice these behaviors and these patterns in what she's doing. We are not stupid. Like, I don't know if she's expecting people to be dumb, or if she's expecting people that she thinks she is, maybe she thinks she is that clever that there's no way that we would pick up on it. Almost everybody is picking up on it and is calling you out. And I want to address this video that you put out recently. You put in there that you're a popular topic to talk about. You are, kind of, because you're putting yourself in that position. If you, like, advice to you, if you ever watch this, is to not feed it, because you are. You continue to feed it. You continue to react to absolutely everything that happens. And because you do that, you are giving us content. You say you don't care that we provide you criticism, this, that, and the other. Okay, that's bullshit. We all know you care, because that is why you continue to go off on these statements, go off on this stuff regularly, right? She has to care. And then you try to turn it around. Every single time something happens, you try to turn it around. And you want to say that now all of the creators who are talking about you are haters, or they're hate channels. Please tell me how Creepshow Art is a hate channel for you. Like, I would legitimately, she says these things without providing proof. She says that we're hate channels. She says there's a difference between criticism and hate, which I agree with her. There is a difference. However, almost everybody providing commentary and like critiquing you are not hate channels. They are literally pointing out your behaviors, and you just want to convince the few followers that you still have who are super blinded for some reason into believing you. You want them to not see these channels. So by you continuing to gaslight them and say that we're hate channels to try and encourage them not to listen to the legitimate criticism that almost every channel has of you, that is your way to try and keep them from seeing that stuff, because you are going to plateau. At some point, everybody is just going to stop feeding stuff into you. You are starting to reach the ceiling. She has to be starting to reach the ceiling. At this point, she has put out to her following, which I'm sure everybody's aware of now, that she was alluding to contemplating self-harm. And I don't know how you can top that at this point. Like, each time there is some kind of controversy around her, she tries to outdo herself. to keep herself relevant. In my opinion, that's what's happening. And I don't know how she's going to continue to set the bar higher for herself. So she's going to plateau on what she is able to do to cause herself to be in controversy. And I think these larger creators are going to stop feeding into her, because they're probably already realizing that talking about her is only fueling her. And she is right in the sense that when we are providing her commentary or providing her criticism, it does drive people to her channel. That is why I have stated in my opinion, she hasn't experienced the loss in subscribers that we thought she would because of this, is because new people are going to see her. New people who haven't watched her, haven't seen these behaviors, are seeing all of these larger creators talk about her. And so we're curious. So we go and look for ourselves, because we're adults, most of us, and are going to be viewing what's going on to see what our opinion is before, we make the decision on what we're going to do. And when we do that, if they don't see her concerning stuff because she deletes it, which whatever, you have the right to private your stuff. As a creator, you have the right to do that for whatever reason, which is funny. This is kind of off topic, but what's kind of funny about that is when I was looking into her Get Ready With Me's to do the collab video I did with Britt. A year ago, all of her content was only streamed, which is fine. But now she deletes all of her streams because she constantly feeds into everything. And even in those videos, Britt it was in the live stream that I watched as well, that I reacted to. She constantly gets enthralled with her chats. And half of the stream is like both of us cutting stuff out, because you can hear her mouse just clicking and her leaning into the computer screen, most likely deleting people. I mean, it's just, I got off topic. But anyways, like, she just is continuing to do this, but she's going to plateau. These larger creators that she continues to offend, and she's not even offending them. Like, I think she thinks she is outsmarting them, but obviously she clearly isn't. Like, they're not threatened by her at this point. She is going to end up with nowhere to go. And then when people stop talking about her, when she hits the ceiling and this plateau, I think that's when we're going to see the decline in subscribers. I think that's when we're going to see her channel kind of crash and burn. She says something about being her not being cancelable. She needs to be careful, because karma is not nice. Karma will get you, and she's starting to experience a little bit of that. But just because you think your channel can't get terminated, it can. YouTube can decide at any moment to just delete your channel or block your channel. And then what are you going to do? Is she going to go back to writing? Like, I honestly, and this isn't to be mean, I honestly hope she is coming up with a plan B, because I haven't seen Emily D. Baker's video recently where she talks about terms of service. I was hoping to watch it before I went live, but I didn't have the chance. But I know in one of her other videos where she was talking about this lawsuit, she said, like, everybody was getting hung up on the 5 million thing that the Westbrooks and Halo are seeking for damages. She explains that they're not expecting to get $5 million, but they're expecting repercussions to happen. My opinion has been, like, the only thing that they can, not the only, one of the things that I think the Westbrooks may do is try to take her platform, because they're not the only ones that she has done this to. She continues to talk about the Duggars, which brings up in that video I was referring to that she did a couple of days ago. She said she talks about fundies. Not always. And she has always engaged herself with YouTube stuff. That is why she's in this lawsuit, because she was providing her opinion, her commentary on a larger YouTube creator. So I don't understand how people aren't seeing that she's not telling the truth. It's like she doesn't know how to tell the truth. She is a chronological liar. I think she or a pathological liar. So I think she is starting to believe the lies that she says. She has stated in a Q&A she has no plan B. Well, I hope she starts to think of a plan B. I know there is speculation that, and I know there's a channel, if I remember, I will put her in the description bar afterwards. Her name is Suzanne, who worked with her or had relations with Katie Joy when she worked for Pathos. And she provides some more explanation around that in her videos. I will be sure to link her in the description once this post. So if you guys haven't seen her channel or her videos of all that, you can. But there's speculation that she has been fired from there, allegedly. So it's like she's kind of burning all of her bridges as she goes along. She talks about in that more recent video how she doesn't care that she doesn't have friends on this platform, which you can tell in that whole part where she's talking about that. It is super, what's the word? She's not meaning what she's saying. She is offended that Unirock has kind of like flipped on her. I know there's been some speculation as to where he actually stands with all of this. I haven't watched any of his content recently to know where he stands. I did see that he posted that she had done the same thing to his channel that she did to Creepshow and True Sleuths for having her email in there. Do I think her husband is pissed at the whole thing? No, I think he is co-signing it, to be quite honest. That is my personal opinion. For using her name, absolutely. And then I love how the creators and like the viewers then were like telling on Twitter and stuff like that she then wore her Katie hoodie. And that's the video that I was referring to where she's talking about all of this stuff. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, do you think, like, I've honestly, like, this is my interpretation of what's going on. And I'm not trying to mimic her. I'm just trying to, like, this is what plays off in my head. When she sent out those emails, she was like, well, I'm going to go on a live stream later. And just to prove to them that I am better than them, I'm going to wear the sweater I have that has my name on it, just to rub it in their face. That's what I think goes on in her mind. Like, I think that's what her personal conversations with herself look like. Those are my opinions. I know that's not the nicest thing for me to say or do. I wasn't trying to mock her in any way, but that's how I see it going on. Like, I honestly think she thinks she's hot shit, that she is better than everybody else, that none of this is going to come back and bite her, because she says that. She says she has nothing to worry about, and we will all see, and everything that is 99.9% of everything is a lie. No, it's not. Like, I'm sorry, Katie. It's not. Like, that's why I'm starting to think she may be a pathological liar, to where she has convinced herself of the stupid lies that she has been spewing to her audience to maintain her audience. I think she started to believe them. So she has become delusional in her actual behaviors. There is legitimate video proof from your videos, from your tweets, from your Instagram posts of you doing and saying this shit. How can you possibly say it's a lie? So are you telling us then that you lied then, or you're lying now? Because at some point then you were fucking lying to your audience. So now comes a time where you need to be smart and think about which one you're going to go with. And obviously she is starting to go with the one that she's done nothing wrong, that everything out here has been fabricated. No, it hasn't. And the courts will see that. The courts will see it hasn't been fabricated, because Tati Westbrook, James Westbrook, and Halo Beauty's attorney, Saltsy, has been watching her and has been downloading her content to have timestamps in the actual suit. So my opinion, she's a fucking moron. Like, you seriously, how are you able to say everything's a lie? And what I kind of think is funny is she didn't say 100%. I mean, I'm just going to nitpick there. I thought it was kind of funny that she was like, it's 100% a lie, because, I mean, everybody knows we all lie to some degree. It's all been fabricated because she and her team fabricated it. I did not know. Sorry, my alarm's going off. I did not see Aphrodite's video on her. Creepshow is back on Twitter. Yeah, I just saw that this morning, that Creepshow got locked out of her Twitter. I mean, it's hard for people to not jump to conclusions. And like, I understand we don't have proof that Katie's the one who's doing all this stuff. Nobody is saying flat out that Katie's doing it. People are insinuating that it's Katie doing it because all the people who have been broken into or who have experienced any weird stuff have recently talked about Katie. I mean, there's a common denominator with it either being somebody that Katie knows or somebody that the other partner's attorney knows. I mean, the general public who are following this can identify these links. Do they not think that authorities or whoever is doing it, do they not think that the authorities aren't going to be able to like make those deductions too? Whoever is doing all of that is I would like to ask them questions. I mean, I would always like to ask Katie questions because I do have legitimate questions I would like her to answer, but I guarantee most of us do. She wouldn't answer them honestly. She wouldn't. This has to be, yeah, I mean, this can't be for anybody involved in this. Like it, to the degree it is, it can't not be upsetting and frustrating for them because we all know like YouTube is not going to step in until they absolutely have to. They're just not going to. Star Lily says she doesn't believe cops showed up at her house. So let's talk about that for a second because I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. So you, as if I'm talking to Katie here for a second, can you explain to me why you thought it was a good idea to go on any of your followings with 130 people who follow you on your YouTube? So you are under a microscope. You've identified that you are under a microscope. You have alleged that you have trolls. You have alleged that you are harassed. You have alleged that you have hate channels after you. Why on this green earth would you put out an Instagram post alluding to the fact that you maybe were contemplating hurting yourself and then get pissed off that people allegedly called the cops? But you're a fucking advocate. That is telling people not to take other people's comments of potential self-harm seriously. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. You don't do that because people literally do get on social medias and put out statements like that where they legitimately fucking mean it. And sometimes the thing that saves their life is the fact that there were people who were concerned and called the cops. So don't you sit here and put out here to your large following that please don't call the cops because I made some kind of comment. Then delete the damn comment, dude. Don't leave it up. You asked for that to happen. You asked for it. Don't bitch at people for doing the right thing. What the fuck is wrong with you? That pisses me off. I'm sorry. That made me so mad. But that makes me mad. You cannot do that. You cannot sit here and say that you are an advocate and then tell everybody or get on to people about doing the right thing. Calling the cops if you were legitimately suicidal is the right thing to do. You putting out to anybody that that's not the right thing to do makes you a terrible person and does not make you a fucking advocate. I don't care. There are people who legitimately come to social media looking for validation, seeking help, and make comments like that, who in reaction, people who have concerns, because even if people did hate you, Katie, nobody wants that to happen. Even though you want to put out here that people are sending you these nasty messages, I'm not saying that's not happening. Every large creator has kind of put out at some point that they have gotten those kind of messages. So am I saying that she's not getting messages to that degree? No, I'm sure she is. But why are you feeding into it? Most people, most creators say that once they start getting to that and it starts to affect them, that they step away. So why the fuck have you not stepped away? I'm not saying stop doing your job. You can do your job and not interact with your audience for a few days because you can't handle it mentally. I can't tell you the amount of days due to me working a full-time job where I haven't commented back or got to my DMs in like 2 or 3 days because I'm a person and I have a job. And most people understand that about me. So if you are struggling with your mental health, what most creators do is they say, hey, I'm taking a quick break. Or they don't even acknowledge the fact that they're taking a break. They take the break and they address it later. Why did you not do that? If it was seriously affecting you to that point, why did you not do that? And do not, by any means, ever get mad that people are concerned about you, because that right there shows how much of a freaking hypocrite you are and shows that people legitimately do care about your well-being. The fact that they sent cops to your house, allegedly, to check on you because you put up an Instagram thing that either you didn't think through and it didn't come off the way you wanted it to, or you intended for that to happen. You intended for it to incite people to get law enforcement involved. Like what? Seriously. What kind of advocate pushes out to their following not to call law enforcement when there's concerns for somebody's stability in their life? Really? I just can't with that one. That one just instantly, my blood boils. Legitimately, like I am shaking right now because that bothers me. You are providing misinformation to a massive audience at this point, and you are not seeing anything wrong with it. Instead, you are kind of, in my opinion, making the people who cared about you feel bad. Nice people don't do that to others. So let me see what you guys are saying and let myself calm down for a second. These lawsuits over petty stuff is taking food out of her son's mouth. She needs to grow up. I mean, potentially it definitely could have some kind of financial effect on her, whether that's because they actually seek like monetary damages or because they seek her losing her YouTube, or like there's only so many things that I can see the Westbrooks asking for from the courts. Where's Todd? I think Todd's complicit with this stuff. I really do. Another opportunity to be victim, Carrie says. I mean, very well could be. And she has legitimately said before that people call her the victim because that's how she gets herself in shit, and then she turns it around and like says a sob story or says something bad is happening to her. So of course people are going to say she's always the victim because she does that. She makes herself the victim in every scenario. Anytime where she gets legitimate criticism or heavy heat, she does this. Thank you, Nurse Kimberly. Nurse Kimberly has posted the suicide hotline in the chat. If you are struggling, just by the chance, there's a lot of people watching me right now. If you are struggling with any kind of ideation or with the thought of self-harming or even homicidal ideation, please be sure to reach out to the 800 number that is in the chat. I will be sure to link it in the description as well. Never feel that you are alone. Yeah, we never call her victim. She does. I mean, I will say that I've said she acts like a victim at times. I have made that commentary before because it's a pattern of her behavior. You think he's complicit too? He needs to take her son and give her an ultimatum and get a job. Some adults need to step up to take control. I mean, she is making good money on here. That is reflected in her social blade, which is fine. Like, I don't care. Make your money however you're going to make it. But don't be mad when you do your job in a poor way and you finally get called out for what you have been doing for a while. Don't make it everybody else's fault. I don't think if she would have just accepted this suit and not continued to feed into everybody, I don't think we would be having the conversations that we're having. Hey, Charlotte, how are you? So, I mean, I wish I could say at this point that I am surprised when all this stuff was happening, but I feel a lot of us now are no longer surprised by her behaviors. I'm interested to see what she tries to pull next, to be honest. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I am super interested to see what she is going to say or what she's going to pull. I understand her taking a few days off. I think a lot of us have been telling her to take some time off since this first started, but she doesn't like to take advice from anybody. So she's continued to react and put herself in these positions and say these things and do these things. And then she doesn't possibly understand why she has the backlash that she does or the criticisms that she does. Donna says, isn't Tasha K in a lawsuit with Cardi? Yeah, allegedly. I don't know. Tasha K keeps being mentioned in my chats when I talk about the lawsuit. And Katie, if you guys are interested, I will look into that. I haven't yet. You're 22 and you find yourself in less drama. KJ needs to start acting her age. You can't help but feel like she's mentally ill. Yeah, I understand people who have that concern. I personally don't. I've provided my reason as to why I don't think. I'm not saying she's not suffering from anything. I mean, she's disclosed to us some of her mental health that she already is diagnosed with. I'm trying to find a brush that I can't find. But I don't think it's to the concern that others have. Like, she obviously has disclosed to us before, like her followers before, that she has some mental health. She takes medication for it. I don't think she has like serious mental health to where it's not being managed. I think she is loving the idea of that, and that's why she's pushing that out to everybody right now. I think my opinion is she's going to try and use that as her saving grace when everything comes to a head, is that she's going to try and like be like, well, like, this isn't normal behavior for me, which it is. I mean, honestly, maybe not to the degree that she is alluding to everybody right now because she has so many people watching her. But I mean, she's done this kind of behavior since she has been online. If you go back and watch her old content, this isn't new behavior for her. This is kind of what she's been doing all along. Like, this Tati lawsuit stuff started a year ago. Like, that's when they started to watch her. That's when she started to make this commentary of her opinions and like push out her opinions and narratives and like twist actual information to be something it isn't, which, newsflash to her, if she doesn't know, that's why you're in a lawsuit. It's not the fact that you provided commentary. It's the fact that you twisted information to push a narrative that you wanted to push. Pathologically lying to herself. Yes, I said that earlier. I think she is a pathological liar at this point. I think she genuinely is starting to believe her lies. which is slightly scary, to be quite honest, because I mean, she has been proven wrong on multitude of occasions. In that recent video, she was talking about how she's not on here for friends, which, not that it's super relevant, I think is showing that she's a liar, because why did she tweet at Creepshow for as long as she did? Why was she consistently tweeting and Instagramming at Repzilla for a while? Why did she do the same thing towards Deaf Noodles? I mean, it's like every large creator in the commentary world at some point has been heavily tweeted at by Katie at some point in time, but she didn't want to make friends. So why were you tweeting at them? Especially because she wants to say she wasn't covering YouTube commentary or drama, that she only covers Bundy stuff. Then why would you be tweeting at them? And the only reason, if you're not covering similar content, the only other reason to tweet at them is to be their friend. So which one is it? Were you not trying to be their friend? Were you trying to? Either way, you end up lying. Which, I mean, we all know that you were covering YouTube stuff. You always have. Has it gone in streaks? Yes, it has. There's been times where you haven't, but consistently at some point you have talked about YouTubers or what drama is going on with YouTube. So I don't know why she's trying to push that narrative. I don't even know how that would help her in any way, or how that would sway anyone to stay subscribed or unsubscribed from her. That just doesn't make sense. She can't have it both ways, right? You hope YouTube is bothered by this. I don't think YouTube is going to. My personal thought process is, I don't think she is going to get any repercussions from YouTube anytime soon. The lawsuit can take a long time. Emily D. Baker has made us aware of that. Like, it doesn't mean that we're going to have any answers to this anytime soon. This could be drawn out. Okay, Madison, I will look at that once I'm off of the live. They're watching from the sidelines. I agree. They are definitely watching from the sidelines. They have to be informed at this point of what's going on. I was actually kind of having a conversation with Britt about it, off of line, obviously, that we think with all of these, well, at least I was saying, my opinion is, with all of these larger creators involved in like commentating on this, like Keemstar, he has 5 million subscribers. He definitely at some point has talked to people at YouTube. I'm sure he has some kind of connection to someone. And, you know, he is kind of lashing out, which I think is kind of, I like watching his little tweet videos. I hope he actually comes out with a video on Katie like he said he was going to. But like, they have to be notifying who they know at YouTube, because it is becoming problematic. Like, she's been problematic, but now that larger creators are involved, their lives have been put at risk because of her. Like, that is super dangerous behavior. I talked about that before when she doxed Creepshow. Like, and now she's like trying to use the terms of service inappropriately. Like, she can only do so many things wrong before these larger creators are going to get in touch with their contacts, if they haven't already, and be like, hey, like, you guys really need to get somebody to look into everything that's going on with this person, because it's dangerous. It is really dangerous at this point. And it's only getting worse, in my opinion, with everything she does. And I'm not saying her mental health is getting worse. I'm saying her behaviors to other creators is only going to get worse. I think she is somebody who so desperately wants to be right all the time that she is willing to do just about whatever she can within her power on this platform to convince people of her being right. I mean, we're seeing that. She is sending emails threatening multiple creators. She is trying to silence people because they're providing legitimate proof. They are providing facts to the general public that, hey, this has happened, and they're providing receipts, and that's what she doesn't like. But she wants to claim the other side that no, these people are hating her, that they're targeting her, that they're harassing her. Where is your proof? Because all of these people who hate you in our hate channels have legitimate proof of your shit behavior that they are criticizing. Where is your proof that you have been stalked and harassed and have trolls? And you can damn well not prove that I'm a hate channel, because if I was, you would be my sole content, and you're not. You're nowhere near my sole content. You never will be. Thank you so much, Madison. You are so sweet. I appreciate all of you guys so much. I know this is the day after Thanksgiving, and you know, we're sitting here kind of criticizing her. I at least was decent enough to not do this yesterday, because this all was brought up in my live stream yesterday, but out of respect of it being Thanksgiving and what a day most people use to say they're thankful for things, I didn't want to be petty and come on here and like complain about her and like have this conversation with you guys. But I do appreciate all of you guys, and I do want to make sure that that's known. I know I have received quite a few new subscribers over everything going on. As Katie has said, she is a hot topic to talk about. She is. People are only subscribing to us because we agree, or because they agree with what we're saying, or because they like our opinion or our delivery. It's really that deep, especially when people are just coming onto the channel and they don't know my other content. They may think that I only cover Katie, but I don't. I think most people know that, especially by what I talk about. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, so I just really can't. Like, I've said this already, and I'm going to say it again. I'm interested to see how she plays this moving forward. Like, what is she going to say or do next? I don't think she understands that she could easily, like, she's trying to make it seem like whenever she addresses this, but she's not addressing it, which that whole video she did where she's from the 17-minute marker on, where she did nothing but talk about how she wasn't going to address things and she couldn't address things, this, that, and the other. And that's all she did for like the remainder of the video. I honestly started to laugh. Thank you so much, John. You are so sweet. I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate the donation super chats. You guys know you don't have to do that, but it is appreciated if you do. It goes back into the channel. But thank you guys. So I just can't, I can't see how she can move forward with this. Like the whole second half of the video, she alludes to next week coming out, like her attorney, I guess, is responding, and she makes it seem like she's going to let us know what her response is. So I am on edge for that. I'm sure most people are, if you know that, or if you caught that part, that's what it seemed like was going to happen, because she kept saying you guys will know more next week. So I'm kind of eagerly waiting if she actually posts it. Do you guys think she's going to post it? Hey, Bruce Allen, how are you? One of my subscribers told me to watch your channel, and I left a comment. I think most of you guys probably are subscribed to Bruce Allen because he covers similar content and commentary. If you're not, though, I would advise to check out his channel. I really enjoy his level-headed commentary. You've reported, you know, Bruce, so I was not going to include her name and stuff in my titles, and I did that for a couple of videos, but honestly, she's not watching. I don't think she's watching my content, and if she does, like that, I mean, I'm okay with that. I understand other people maybe wanting to be careful. I just threw a bead at myself, but I just don't know. Like, I understand people maybe being concerned or just not wanting to give her the attention. And I was kind of on that boat for a minute. What I have decided to do is I've decided to just let stuff build up and then do live streams like this with you guys rather than constantly putting out content. I don't have the time for that. I work a full-time job outside of this. Thank you so much, Jersey Jojo. You guys are awesome. But I don't have time to keep up with Katie's antics. So I have kind of made the decision that if something massive happens, like when she docks Creepshow, I came on and talked about it pretty quickly. But I typically am not going to be worried of putting her name in my titles because I'm hoping she will at some point watch all of our videos. I know she watches some people's videos. Radiant Brit, she did that video, was it not our collab video, but the one before that where she reacted to Katie's Katie reacting to Jill doing her makeup, Jill Rodriguez. She privated that video. So she talked about it in a live stream, which is now deleted. So that goes to show she is watching some of our commentary. And, you know, I hope maybe she learns some stuff from what we're saying. I don't think she will because she's too thick-headed. But I hope she does, like, try and take what we're saying with a grain of salt and stop calling us hate channels, because we're not all hate channels. Providing you legitimate criticism about your shitty behaviors, or maybe making you acknowledge the fact that you have done some pretty crappy things, is not people hating on you. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not people hating you. People can provide you commentary. So that makes me think, like, in her real life, does anybody who says, like, if she asks how my makeup is today, and this isn't trying to throw shade, it's just a hypothetical. She asked somebody how her makeup was, and maybe her eyeliner was really wonky that day, or her eyebrows were way off. Is she going to say that they're hating her because they provided her the criticism of what she was asking? I mean, that's kind of what it is. Like, you're trying to say anybody who provides you any kind of commentary is a hater. You only liked Unirock when Unirock was blowing smoke up your ass, which I've got to figure out what's going on with him. But it's just, it is so much to keep up with. She is, I mean, every day. I understand how, if creators who are able to get on and talk about, like, the antics every day, she is only giving them content. She is the one who is providing them the content. It's not that they're going to look for the content anymore, because she is handing it to them on a silver platter. Honestly, at this point, she is handing it to them on a silver platter. Britt called her a mean girl. Yeah, she did, because she was being a mean girl. She must have more yes men around her than Jeffree Star. You know, I think this is my honest, like, personal opinion. I think the only person she really cares about what they say to her is her husband, which is fine. Like, you should care about what your husband says or his opinion of you. But there's some footage of him saying some things. I've talked about this before, of him saying some things that are alluding to the fact that he's kind of very similar to Katie, if not, like, maybe even more aggressive, because he's called the subscribers at one point, or somebody at one point during a live stream, the see you next Tuesday word, which I'm not going to say because I know it offends some people. But I mean, that's pretty telling of a person if you're willing to get on and say that to a live stream. Like, I know I curse and stuff, but that is a term that can be very offensive and is known to be offensive. So I don't understand. And I mean, it was strung along with a whole bunch of other curse words, and it was very negative in nature when he said that. There's a clip on Twitter, and I'm sure it's on the Reddit, but, like, I really think that they are both not nice people. I think they're both negative individuals in their real life. And I'm not trying to give them excuses, but I can understand them struggling with, like, maybe being a little bit hateful towards the world, because I'm sure there are challenges with their child. You do watch my channel is mostly because of Katie. Yeah, and I understand that. I understand people who come here for the Katie content, and I will continue to talk about Katie, but Katie's not ever going to be my sole content. She is not the reason I started my YouTube channel. I'm passionate about a lot of things. So as long as she continues to feed us content, I will continue to talk about her. Just for me, it won't be like every day. It'll probably be every few days or every week like I did this time. Let some stuff catch up and then just kind of word vomit with you guys like I have today. Because I can't, I honestly can't keep up with it all. With working a full-time job, having a side business, trying to start up my other channel for my crafting stuff, it's just been hard to keep up with absolutely everything she does. I want to say like super huge thank you to Twitter and the Twitter community, because that's where I keep my highlights of where I need to go for when stuff starts to hit the fan, because I mean, it hits the fan like every day. And if it's a live stream that happened, I try to make sure to watch that live stream that night before I go to bed if I can. I have missed a few of her live streams recently. I missed the one where she was addressing the Joe Rodriguez video. I missed that one, but Britt caught some of it and was able to tell me what she was doing. The Kiki, I appreciate that. I'll do a skincare routine video for you guys if you're interested. My voice soothes you. I guess that's a good thing, right? I have misplaced so much of my makeup. When I did that collab video with Britt on Without a Crystal Ball's makeup, I pulled out so much on my vanity that I can't find the makeup that I typically wear. It's been a mess. If you can't tell, it's why I keep looking around and moving stuff. Yeah, Charlotte also provides a pretty, I appreciate that rock list. Whenever I do talk about Katie, you know, my subscribers who are here for my other content, my live streams typically don't get this many people. I appreciate this many people being here. I'm not going to lie, I do get overwhelmed with the chat. That's why I kind of ignore the chat until it's a good stopping place, because like Katie, I have ADHD. I'm not medicated though. So it's hard for me to focus on multiple things and not get distracted. So I have to just talk my piece, and then I try to come back to the chat. In my smaller chats that I have, I'm able to address everybody and like have a good conversation with each individual person. In these chats, I do slightly get overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm trying to get better at making sure I'm pausing between thoughts and addressing you guys, because your opinions do matter. I do want to provide a platform where people feel that they're being heard, that their opinion is being heard. Jamal, you found me through Charlotte. Charlotte's awesome. I love Charlotte. She also does a lot of commentary, and she's starting to do some true crime stuff. She's kept up with the Katie stuff pretty well. She is one of the creators who's been able to regularly hop on more frequently than I can, to allow the community who has opinions, whether they agree with what her personal opinions are or not, she allows them to come out and like have that conversation with everybody. And she's always very fair. You have, yeah, ADHD is a super common diagnosis. I actually didn't know I had ADHD until a few years ago. And I have never been medicated. So I don't think, I haven't been re-evaluated, but I don't think mine is like, there's different degrees on how it affects you. I just can't focus on too many things at once. Like if I'm reading the chat, I lose my own thoughts because I want to see what you guys are saying. Right? Kiki says, I love the way that so many female content creators are supportive of one another, that Katie needs to take a lesson or a hint. I'm not sure what word you said. You know, I am one who supports any creator, to be quite honest. I do not understand why creators such as Katie view this so much as a freaking competition. Because at the end of the day, the person who pays us is YouTube, is Google, right? Yes, our subscribers can donate to us. That's an added feature / bonus. But and you can have memberships if you're wanting to provide additional content to your subscribers, which is fine. That's the creator's choice. But what bothers me is when people do start to view this as a competition, because why are we competing with each other? Why are we not just supporting each other? You can easily, if you don't know the content creator, just say they have content, check out their channel. If you like their channel, subscribe to it. That's what I do for anybody who tells me they're a creator on this platform. Whether I know them or not, I'm going to encourage people to check out their content. And if I like their content, I will inform my audience that I like their content. Why does it have to be, we're not going to talk about other channels on this channel? Why? Seriously, like, why is it a thing? Why is that a thing? I do not understand why we can't just support each other. You can support somebody and not co-sign their content. You can easily say, go check out their channel. If you like it, subscribe. That's not co-signing the content. That's just saying to your audience to check them out. They may like their content, and it's only going to support that person. And if they're not monetized, it could potentially help them become monetized. And another creator being monetized on this platform does not affect you. And you may share some similar subscribers, but what does that do? Like, maybe if they like the other creator, they may tip them and not you. Who the fuck cares? Who cares? You shouldn't be relying on your subscribers to provide you tips. That, I don't like that kind of creator who like entices their viewers to just super chat them constantly. I think almost everybody on YouTube who views YouTube knows that super chatting is a thing. And if they don't, they ask what it is, and it can easily be explained. And then it's up to them. Stop pushing to have them send you money. Stop pushing. I don't like, that's really nasty behavior in my opinion. And, you know, Katie she's notorious, and a large criticism almost everybody has of her is she goes through phases where she doesn't even, she'll say, oh, I'm having a Q&A. And she'll say at the beginning of the video or the live stream, if you super chat me, I'm more likely to answer your question. Okay, well, then my question's not that important to you, which means I'm not that important to you. You know, that's kind of what I get from that kind of behavior. I understand like marketing and like trying to let people know that that's availability, but I think there is probably more classier ways to go about letting your audience know that that's a possibility, rather than like saying, well, I'm not going to answer your question unless you super chat me, or having members only live streams, which is another criticism. Like, I understand why she's doing them now. And I'm not going to judge her for that. I kind of don't blame her for doing them that way right now. But previously, she would say she wouldn't do them all the time. And she did them a lot more often than she let on. I understand that's a perk that you offer. What people criticized her for was the only time she would turn on the members only live chat previously was because she was talking about things that were controversial, and she had already had a lot of people speak out against her opinion. And I mean, you cannot say that you're open to criticism if you're really not. I mean, just be honest with people and say, you know, one of my faults is I really don't handle criticism well. That way people at least know, like, hey, if I criticize you, you're not going to handle it well, and you're probably going to react in a bad way. Some people are like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But be self-aware, right? When you're live, you try to read 100% of the chat. You understand if there's thousands of people in the chat, but she doesn't even try. Absolutely. And that's what in my smaller live streams, I do the same thing, Bruce. I try to always read everybody's comment and give everybody a voice and the opportunity to have their opinion heard, to see what others' feedback are. Even in chats like this, which are like 300 people, I can't read all of the chat. I will get so distracted, and I won't end up making any of my own points or my own commentary. I would end up just reading everybody else's opinion and then forgetting to let mine be heard, which I'm not trying to make that sound like a bad thing, but I feel like some people come to my channel at this point to hear my opinion. And if I'm I feel like I would be handicapping myself because I'm, as creators, we are limited in our time, or at least I am. I don't want to speak for everybody, but like today, I'm getting ready to go, apparently, Black Friday shopping, which I didn't know I was doing today, and that's fine. But I will be getting off here soon. So I would feel bad with this many people if they were all providing good in their own opinions and I wasn't able to address everybody. Whenever I don't have things planned, I will try to make sure everybody is being heard. And that's why some of my live streams that are uploaded are like 2+ hours, because I'm trying to make sure everybody feels engaged. Yeah, Tiffany says Emily D. Baker has like 3,000 people in her chat and she reads all the questions somehow. I don't know how she does it. I think and this is just me speculating, I think it is probably easier for people who are able to multitask better. Because if you're a good multitasker, you can get your points across and read at the same time. I can't do that because what ends up happening is I will end up talking about what the chat is saying and I won't end up, like I'll stop mid-sentence and start reading a comment. I'm sure I've done it during this live today because I'm trying to make sure that I am engaging with you guys. I care about what you guys have to say. I agree. Bruce is an amazing creator. I love his content. I haven't caught any of his lives yet. I'm hoping I will at some point. I've just been super busy with work and everything. Yeah. I mean, she's worked, I don't know if people understand like the seriousness and like the prestige of being a district attorney. I don't know if people understand that. That's a big thing. Like she was, not to say she wasn't ever a legit lawyer, but like she was high ranking and people took her very seriously in her work as an attorney, which is not surprising. I mean, if you watch, she can make the average person understand lawsuits and understand what's going on with these documents that are legally binding. I mean, it takes good knowledge and experience to be able to do that, especially so eloquently. Like I love her cursey words, but she makes it very relatable. And I have I've said this before, I work closely with the courts in every position I've had. And there were parts of those suits that I thought I understood, but I wasn't 100% sure. And her examples that she provides make it to where you definitely know what is trying to be said. You definitely know. They're Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. I'll have to figure out the time difference. Yeah, I will definitely. I don't typically go live on Tuesday nights, so I will try to remember. I'm a weird creator in the sense that I don't put on my notifications for other creators, but I will probably put my notifications on for you, Bruce, so I can catch one of your live streams. I will do that whenever I get off of here. See, I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was talking about before. I was talking about Emily D. Baker, right? See, that's how my brain works, is I will lose track of what I'm talking about. And then something will remind me of what I was initially saying, and I will go back to that. That's how my brain operates. Sometimes I can't remember at all what I was talking about. I love Emily's content. I am so happy like the stuff with Katie happened. Like I have people say in my comment sections a lot that, Katie's antics have been a blessing and a curse. Bruce Allen, without a space in between, is his YouTube channel. But I've gotten a lot that everything with going on with Katie has been a blessing and a curse, because I mean, they've found so many other creators who have talked about her, and they've ended up enjoying their content. So I appreciate Katie for allowing others to be able to find my channel and enjoy my channel and even start enjoying my other content. Yeah, Madison, I don't know if you've seen the video I posted last night in collaboration with Radiant Brit, but we both recreated Katie's makeup looks, and I did half. I think we both ended up doing half and half. I followed Katie's exact steps, whereas Brit followed them to a degree, and you can tell the difference in how Katie and I do our eyebrows. I appreciate that. Thank you. Which, if you're not interested in my take on how she does her makeup or the end result being different, I link her video where she does her makeup. So if you just want to see her do her makeup, you can. Katie's situation has opened the door. Yeah, exactly, Jamal. I appreciate you being here. You are one of the ones who has commented that, you know, you found my content through me talking about her. KJ's eyebrows are a crime against makeup. I mean, whatever floats your boat, right? But exactly, Pippi Longstocking. I'm so happy that, you know, we have been able to cultivate this to me, and I'm not trying to like compare, but to me, like, this is a happy and a healthy community. People can feel free to say their opinion and not feel judged or not be afraid to provide their opinion, where it is very obvious in Katie's chats and in there's a couple of other YouTubers who I kind of feel like are the same, but they don't have any criticism, or they don't have people really disagreeing or saying that they, you know, don't agree with what the creator is saying, because I think it's because they're fearful, and they do surround themselves with only people who have the similar conversations or like the similar thought process, if that makes sense. You love that Britt and I showed that we can show trust. We should trust women when they do their own makeup. Oh, hang on. Their own makeup because they know what's best for their face. Yeah, exactly. Like, I wasn't really trying to like tear Katie apart. I ended up clipping out quite a bit where I was maybe being a little bit more harsh, because as larger creators and even smaller creators who are actual makeup artists, like, part of their disclaimer is what works for me doesn't work for you. You hear that on almost every channel, and that's because all of our skin is different. All of our complexions are different. All of our skin types are different. All of our face shapes are different. So you really need to find a creator who has a similar skin tone to you, as far as like recommendations for shades, a similar skin type to you for actual product recommendations. And then you need to find somebody with a similar face shape to you to know where it may look best for you to place your actual makeup. Recently, I have found a creator, I can't remember who because I've only seen like 1 or 2 videos, where she has a very similar face shape to that I have, and she places her contour a little bit higher, like on her actual cheekbone rather than where her actual shadow is. And I have started to implement that method. And I think, like, in real life, it is more slimming. It kind of elongates my face a little bit more and kind of takes away the chubbiness out of my cheeks. Blush makes you look alive. After our videos, you went and bought blush. I enjoy blush. The one makeup product that I don't typically always do, which you can see in my other makeup videos, is I don't always do my eyebrows. And I either wear eyeliner, like just eyeliner and maybe something in my crease, or just like winged liner, or I don't wear any. And like you can see the differences in Britt's video and my video. I never tightline. I can't. I've tried before and I always poke my eyes. So I don't tightline and she does. Like there's differences even between like both of our routines that makeup we believe by. She, like Britt likes to put in a lot of mascara and she gets that big full look. I like that look, but I have not been able to achieve it. And most of that is because the mascaras I own are crappy. And the other side of that is I hate taking off mascara at the end of the day. Oh, Britt's video, since we're talking about it, so I watched all of those videos. Like there's another video of Katie doing her makeup that I found, and there might be a couple of others, but I went back to like a year ago just to kind of show like this pattern of behavior has been ongoing for her. And I watched all of them all the way through to see which one I felt would be best for me to recreate. And I watched that one, and almost every video she does, she cakes on her powder like that. So when I watched Britt's video and her reaction and the emoji she used during that powder section, I literally started to like crack up hardcore. And I ended up texting her and telling her, like, I was laughing so hard. My husband was like, "What's so funny?" He thought maybe I had seen a funny video because I had my headphones in, and I showed him and he just looked at me and he was like, "Okay." I was like, "You don't understand. It's funny. It's funny." I laughed for like 5 minutes, and if I watched it again, I would probably laugh again. It's because that was literally my reaction. So her face just dropped. It's really funny. If you haven't seen it, I would advise to go watch that video. It's funny. You don't bother doing your eyebrows anymore. I mean, I rarely do my eyebrows. By Madison, I rarely do my eyebrows. When I do, it is typically a light natural look. But in that video, you will see I don't pluck my eyebrows. I have very thin, fine hair all over. Like even my like head hair is super fine and thin. So I have to take what I can get, especially when it comes to my eyebrows. So I don't pluck them. I tried to pluck them once and it looked like I didn't have any eyebrows, and I can't do eyebrows. That's part of the reason why I don't do them on a regular basis. I just fill in, and more often than not, when I do actually do my eyebrows, I use this Brow Endowed by Urban Decay, which is literally just a primer that you brush through your brows and then a color, like a colored setter. So that's usually what I use when I do my eyebrows. Today I decided to use a pencil because although I'm terrible at, you can tell I have tried to do eyebrows and like make my eyebrows a thing, because I will show you guys. I have a ton of eyebrow products. So I have pomade. I have this one that ABH came out with. I have multiple micro blades. I actually liked the Fenty Beauty. This one's almost out. I have the brow definer because I use the Brow Wiz, and the NYX one is a dupe. These came in Ipsy boxes, but I have tried to use, this is the Pin by Urban Decay. I've tried to use all of these. And anytime I try to be more serious and like actually get my brows to look good, it doesn't work for me. I'm not good at doing eyebrows. That is something that you really have to practice, from my experience. You have your eyebrows threaded. Yeah, my husband gets his eyebrows threaded, or at least he used to. He stopped. I've never gotten my eyebrows threaded. That looks way too painful. I can't even hardly pluck my eyebrows. The one time that I've seriously like plucked all of like my stray hairs down here, my eyes, my skin reacted so bad. Like they were so red and puffy, and it lasted for quite a while, like a few hours, which I know is kind of normal. And then to me, it looked like I didn't have any eyebrows. So I just stopped. I never did it again. Hey, Maximum Effort. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you all being here. I am sorry for the rough beginning and the multiple live streams. I was having technical difficulties, but I appreciate everybody who is here. I don't know what my weekend looks like, if I'll be going live again. I will probably post another video about Katie once she does do her response, or what her response is. If anything too crazy happens, you guys know the drill. I'll talk about it. Otherwise, I am kind of going to be trying to space these out like a week apart, just to not bog down my content with Katie. But I don't mind to talk about her. Yeah, have fun. I am not looking forward to Black Friday shopping. I don't know why my husband has decided last minute he wants to go. But hopefully I survive. I'm a pretty petite person, so I tend to get lost when events like this happen, which is why I typically don't go, but we'll see if I survive. I appreciate you being here, everybody. I appreciate anybody who super chatted me. Thank you so much, Bruce, for coming in. I never anticipated other creators who I haven't talked to ever like become a part of my conversations here. I always find it super cool that they feel comfortable coming into other creators' chats. I've talked about it before that I have kind of been a person to not ever, even previous to being a creator, to not really engage in live chats because of the intimidation. And since I've been a creator, I get almost more nervous now at times to actually communicate with the other creator, because I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. So I genuinely appreciate you being here and like engaging throughout the conversation. I really enjoy your content, and I'm going to catch you on Tuesday. I'm going to put in an alarm on my phone. So with all of that being said, I hope everybody's having a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are. And I'm sure I will see you sometime this weekend. Bye, guys.